What's going on, FA Nation? Jon Impemba here with James Grande. Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm NBA DFS podcast and live stream recording here for Monday's 6-game main slate. James, the season of the NBA is winding down. Only a few weeks left before we hit the NBA playoffs. With that comes some pretty interesting rotations that we're starting to see, players that are starting to pop off, some players being ruled out due to injury, waiting on a pretty substantial amount of questionable players here tonight. Some big names, of course, over the weekend. We had the whole situation with John Morant. He's taking an indefinite leave of absence, so that's going to be changing up what's going to be going on with Memphis during this upcoming week here. And this is a pretty interesting slate for week of games here. Most days this week, 6, 7, 8 games. We're not getting those big 12 gamers. I don't think we have any weeks where it's like 3 or 4, so a pretty even slate, and it should be a pretty fun one as we continue to widen down the regular season here.
Yeah, fun slate. You mentioned there's a couple names headlining the injury report. De'Aaron Fox, Donovan Mitchell, both questionable. Those are the biggest two. Jonas Valanciunas is also questionable. He did practice on Sunday, so that's worth noting, but they still did list him questionable, so we'll have to keep that in mind. Boston on a back-to-back. We know Boston, at times has rested people. They're 4.5-point dogs in Cleveland.
Yeah, not
tonight.
Playing well. No Rob Williams. I don't know if they can afford to sit Al Horford. He's been playing big minutes, had a double-double last night, but they're down the stretch. They're no longer the 1 seed, which is a big issue. And they could be quickly falling further down in the standings here. So I think Al Horford's going to be suiting up for this one, because if not, they're rolling out like Cornette and Mike Muscala here against Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. Might as well just put an L on the board here for Boston.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be interesting because they just haven't played Horford. That's the problem, right? Like, they haven't played him on back-to-backs, so, but you're right. Like, they're only 3 games ahead of Philly.
That's what I'm saying. They're tumbling right now out of the all.
Right.
I think they've lost 4 or 5 games from coming out of the break or something like that, so... and Milwaukee was winning 18 in a row, some stupid.
Yeah, well, they lost a game against Philly.
Sure.
But then they won again yesterday, so the streak.
The Knicks have won 9 in a row. A lot of teams in the East are moving up the board. The Celtics are moving down the board right now. So.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do on a back-to-back, because we know sometimes it is interesting. And we've seen this year, sometimes coaches don't care. Steve Kerr rests guys. He doesn't even care. He's just resting guys even if they've lost 10 in a row. He's just we're resting. So we'll see how that plays out.
Is all they're doing, right? So.
Right. Detroit is just littered with injuries. Bojan Bogdanovic out, Jalen Duren out, Isaiah Stewart out, Killian Hayes questionable, James Wiseman questionable. That whole team is a question mark the rest of the year. It's just is what it is at this point of the year. Because they're tanking. So they want Victor Wembanyama. We'll see. They need to add another big man, I think, next year in the draft. I think they should add 3.
Even though they've used top 12 picks on big men the last 2 years, and
traded one and traded for one, the number 2 overall. They should just keep adding bigs and just play 5.
But Wembanyama, Kate Cunningham will be and Jaden Ivey. That's a pretty cool trio to have.
That would be a cool trio, and I think they realized that. There's some interesting questionable tags that we're looking at. In terms of Vegas, slate high total in New Orleans, Sacramento opened at 238.5, currently at 236.5. Sacramento giving 5.5 points to the Pelicans. Toronto, Denver 229 total solid. Denver giving 6 to Toronto. Never seen Miami in a 229 total before, but here we are. 3-point favorites at home against the Atlanta Hawks. Indiana, Philly, I think that's going to be a very, very popular game for us. 234 total. Philly giving 6.5 on the road. And then Portland. Oh, Portland's on a back-to-back. So we got 2 teams on a back-to-back. Portland, Detroit, 230 total. Portland, 6-point favorites on the road. John, I actually lied. Boston opened as 4.5-point dogs. It is now 6.
Yeah.
6. So
you lose last night and you're on a back-to-back here. I mean...
Assuming, and that's just assuming, following the trend of Horford sitting here. Yeah. And we know Rob Williams out, and Brogdon's missed 2 straight, so they could be without 3 of their.
Yeah, I think most people are just hammering Cleveland right now because the way the Celtics have been playing, and now it's the back-to-back on the road situation. But yeah, I mean, listen, it would be something if they end up ruling out one or two guys here today on that back-to-back, just given the way their depth has been right now. So
Right.
something to watch in a tough matchup against Cleveland, a team that's given them trouble for the most part this year. I know they did just beat them. It basically is their only win coming out of the break here, it seems like. So, yeah, we'll see. Let's get into it. Point guards, Dame Lillard and James Harden are up over 10K here rather. Lillard's at 11-6 going up against Detroit. Of course, this is a smash spot for him. Man's dropped 40 actual in 2 of the last 3, but it is a back-to-back. So what are your thoughts here on Dame here on this back-to-back? Are you worried at all? A third straight road game for the Blazers here as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's tough, but the matchup isn't. It's a soft matchup again. I think Dame can keep rolling here. I have no problem getting there. 11-6 is expensive, obviously. Like $200 more, you get Nikola Jokic, who is a walking triple-double. $300 less, we get Joel Embiid.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, so like you can get to Dame. It's a great spot. I won't talk you off it. But you could also get to Harden for $1,500 less, who's been tremendous. I mean, 38, 10, and 9.
Yeah.
And like we're not expecting 38, 10, and 9 every game, but like we know it's in James Harden's bag.
Sure.
He's gone for 50 plus in 3 of 4.
I mean, love the 26 shots. Like, why are we like? I want more to that. Why are we getting 13, 14, 15 shots out of him?
Right.
11 from the line. I mean, he's always been a free throw monster, but I mean, like, get into the line a lot more lately. More scoring out of James Harden. Maybe they're smelling blood in the water here for Boston too, realizing that they can start cutting in, and that 1 seed's not out of the picture yet.
Agreed. So you could definitely get to Harden. I like both guys up top.
Under 10K, De'Aaron Fox at home against the Pelicans here. Fox questionable for this game with hamstring soreness. Trae Young, $9,400 here. He's the guy that we've been playing a lot. And then against Miami, tough spot. We've said it all season long. Against Miami, tough spot for point guards. 2 of 13 shooting. Just 8 points. Did have the 10 assists. They're running it back here against Miami on the road still. So they just hung around in Miami for the weekend. I don't know, man. Again, we've been trying to fading these matchups all season long against Miami. Trae Young's been good. Does he bounce back here? Like, what are your thoughts on spending up at the guard spot under those top 2 guys here?
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with Trae. I mean, he's had 2 double-doubles against them this year. He had 50 once. So, like, I'm okay getting there. I don't love Fox. I think both are, like, fine, but, like, neither are, like, priorities. I think Halliburton of the 9K point guards would probably be the guy I would get to the most. 9,200 is cheap for a guy coming off 50 in back-to-back games and 50 in 3 of 4.
Yeah.
Why? Like, if we're going to get the aggressive Tyrese Halliburton where he's scoring, he's elite. Yeah. He is a 10K player.
Don't know why he only took 9 shots against Orlando when I played him.
Right.
But, you know.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you. Like, if we're going to get this version, he's elite. If we're not, like, we're going to be hurting because he's 9,200. But I'm willing to take a shot on him. And then if Mitchell sits, I mean, obviously, we're going to have interest in Darius Garland.
Yep. Listen, Garland, fine for sure. I mean, Van Vliet in Denver is a really good price, $8,500 or a good matchup price. You know, you can certainly debatable. There are times where it's great, times where it's not. Coming off 59 fantasy points, a double-double against Washington here. Third straight road game for them as well. But, we've been talking a lot about it this year. Denver's defense has not been very good. You've been able to go at them. I don't know if attacking the interior is a way to go against Denver. So, Van Vliet's at 85. McCollum will price bump at 81. Jamal Murray's at 8K. DeJounte Murray was the one that had a decent game a couple games ago against Portland. Another one that struggled against Miami, but he's $7,900. I mean, I don't mind this middle range here, guys. I think more at Van Vliet and Murray, just kind of going up against one another, though.
Yeah, I mean, I'm indifferent about Van Vliet. Like, I love the minutes, obviously. We could say this ad nauseum about Toronto in general, just like he's going to play big minutes. It's just so hard to predict which Raptor is going to go off, right? Like, it's just like night to night. It might be Siakam. It might be Van Vliet.
Yeah.
It might be Gary Trent off the bench. It might be Scotty Barnes. Like, it's just so hard to predict. So, like, yeah, I think he's in play.
What I think impacts Van Vliet, really, his minutes are always there. The shots are usually there. Just does he make those shots, right?
Yeah.
Like 1 of 11, 3 of 12 against Chicago and Orlando. He kind of sucks. He goes 5 of 17, 9 of 16 against Washington. Sure, the 5 of 17 against Washington didn't really pay off the price tag as much, but I mean, 9 of 16 the next night, hits more of his three-pointers. He's a three-point shooter. He's got to knock those down. So, and Denver, I believe, is not a great perimeter defensive team. I'll have to look that up, but I thought they were one of the worst teams in terms of opponent three-point percentage allowed. So, it could be a spot for him. I do like Jamal Murray. McCollum's been better than I give him credit for. I was thinking Ingram had really been taken over lately, but the last 2 games for CJM, 43 and 42 fantasy points filling up the stat sheet. So I think anybody in this 8K range is probably viable for lineups here today. It all depends on where our value is, because we're going to be wanting to spend up on a Jokic, Embiid, or Lillard here. So if you can't find the right value today, then maybe spending up at one of these guys is going to be difficult to pair up with.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of love McCollum. And it's mainly because Sacramento, dude, they are so terrible defensively. Like, they're just so good offensively that they can, like, make up for it. Sacramento is the number 1 offensive rated team in the NBA, John. Number 1. They are the highest rated offensive unit in basketball. They are 26th in defense. Like, they just outscore everybody.
Right.
Like, that's just what it is. They do not play any defense. They're 9th in pace. This is a great pace spot for New Orleans too. I love McCollum. Now Valanciunas was out those last 2 games. Like, how does that impact CJ's offense?
Sure.
If Valanciunas does return, but like, I do have interest in McCollum, and it's just mainly because I'm gonna play. Like, I usually don't. I would stack New Orleans in this game. How about that? Especially if Valanciunas is out. Like, Richardson's out, Alvarado's out. They've been closing. Nance is out. They've been closing with, like, small lineups.
Yeah.
And we know that they don't play Valanciunas even when he's active. So, like, they might just continue. Like, I love New Orleans in this spot, and I'm not afraid to yell it to the world.
Okay. If we go down to this mid-range, I mean, I think Jaden Ivey stands out.
Yep.
But there's really not much else for me until we figure out what goes on with Detroit. Because, I mean, if Hayes is out as well, that could bring us to guys like Hampton, Burks, obviously, potentially a guy that they could give more minutes to. Corey Joseph could be a guy, like, for some value. It's not great value.
The worst.
You could see Ricky Rubio get a bump if Donovan Mitchell ends up being ruled out here tonight as well. I mean, there's not great value on this board.
Yeah, unfortunately, Burks only has the shooting guard eligibility now,
Sure.
too. That stinks. I do agree. Ivy's the guy here. I wouldn't hate Marcus Smart and Derek White if Brogdon sits again. Like, Smart's going to play 40 minutes, and White's going to probably sit in high to mid-20s. So I wouldn't hate either of those guys. But you're right. The rest of it's, like, kind of contingent on Donovan Mitchell because you can't play Oladipo right now. McConnell's just a backup.
Yeah, like, Gabe Vincent has been playing the minutes. He's just not hitting anything. He's 5 of 12, 2 of 11, 1 of 6, 3 of 10. He was great earlier in the year when Hero and all those other guys were out, but now that they're back, he's just not hitting shots. So
yeah, I probably can't go there.
Let's see. Yeah, can't really Jackson.
I think that's it.
Yeah, I'm with you. Shooting guard then. JB's at 88. Donnie Mitch is at 93. Going up against one another here.
Donnie Mitch went nuts against Boston the other day.
Yeah. 44 actual in that game. Was that another overtime game, or did you just play 44 minutes?
No, that was the game where Boston was up big and Mitchell willed them back into that game in the second half.
Right.
But Boston closed it out.
I mean, the way Boston's playing right now, nobody's off limits. So you can certainly pay up if Mitchell's in the game there. I still think you can play Jaylen Brown if you want to.
Yeah, he's been good.
Under 9K, 50 fantasy points last night, 55 the game before that against Brooklyn. Over 40 minutes. I mean, these guys are just out here playing a boatload. So all of that is fine. Tyler Hero, been a little bit up and down. The last 2 games have been good. 29 and 20 actual for him. So under 8K hero we're in on $7,300.
Yep.
Good price tag.
Great spot.
And then we dump down to guys like we said. There's a lot of question marks here. OG, Trent, Maxey, fine. Diallo was a guy that really had a good game the other day. 26 minutes, 29, 23. I mean, the guy's playing a boatload and he's giving us the production we know he can. So at $4,900, you got Hamidou Diallo here. Probably going to be a pretty popular insert for most lineups.
Yeah, I love Maxey. The minutes have been great. Tobias Harris, questionable.
Yeah.
And he's scoring at a crazy clip. 23, 27, 29, 26 actual points the last 4 games. So I love Tyrese Maxey, 5,500 against Indiana. And I love Hamidou Diallo. They're just so shorthanded. He's just going to keep playing minutes. As long as Boyan's out, he's just going to keep playing big minutes. And Boyan's ruled out again.
Yep. See, Horter played 33 minutes against Minnesota. Had a big ceiling game. It's had 2 ceiling games.
Yeah, didn't miss.
Yeah. Had 2 ceilings games in the last 3. OKC went 8-14, 20 actual. Minnesota 11-15, 29. I mean, if Fox sits, maybe Kevin Horter becomes a little bit more interesting. I always play Ben Mathurin, 4,800. I know he's definitely boom or bust. 15 minutes against San Antonio. Did that let you down?
Dude. And I tell you this, like, there's nobody worse than Rick Carlisle. There is nobody freaking worse than Rick. 15 minutes for this kid? What are we doing? And then they play Isaiah Jackson as the backup center. Guess who had Jalen Smith that game after 2 big games in a row, John?
Was it you?
I did.
You did?
I did. I played Mathurin and Jalen Smith in the same lineup. So that obviously went well. Like, F you, Rick. I hate Rick Carlisle. I shouldn't say that. That's mean. I'm teaching my son not to use the word.
Hate's a strong word.
I'm teaching my son not to use that word. I strongly dislike Rick Carlisle's coaching style. And I didn't mean for that to rhyme, but bars anyway.
There you go. This is an NBA DFS podcast. A little breaking NFL news. Looks like Derek Carr and the Saints could be coming to an agreement as early as today, per Adam Schefter.
Wow.
So Derek Carr heading down to the Bayou. We don't have to worry about Andy Dalton and Jameis Winston anymore in that Saints offense. Is Derek Carr better for the Saints than
yes?
Things to be discussed on the Quick Out Fantasy Football Podcast done by myself, Andrew Cooper. You can check that out. Most likely coming out on Thursday. So stay tuned for that. But hey, you know what? If you're Chris Olave, you have to be happy. You gotta be loving this right here. So
agreed.
Anyways, back to the NBA. We've discussed these value shooting guard tier here.
Wait, I got one.
Cam Reddish, because he's been playing a lot of minutes.
Yeah, it's Cam Reddish for sure. He's been good starting. I think he was in the winning lineup last night as well. He could just score, dude. He's contributing elsewhere. And I love Trey Murphy, 44, if he starts. There's no Josh Richardson again. Yeah. Trey Murphy played 32 and 38 minutes last 2 games, started both games. If Trey Murphy's starting again, both these guys, Reddish and Murphy, and they have the eligibility of that we dream of. You could play 5. You could play them at 5 positions. So, love Murphy, love Reddish. Probably both going to be pretty popular, but
yeah.
And then what do we do with Chris Duarte, John? Because Chris Duarte back in the rotation playing minutes.
I mean, listen.
Again, it's like Carlisle is just going to make me go crazy.
I mean, if he's going to play 34 minutes, I mean, yeah, sure. But Mathurin played 30 minutes the next day. I know. So I don't understand why Duarte is out of their rotation after the way he played last season anyways.
Right.
They like Nembhard and Neesmith over him, I guess. But Duarte's perfectly fine. I don't know. Too risky to throw in there unless you're playing 150 lineups probably, or 20 lineups, I guess. Burks, as we've mentioned, you could probably consider him in GPPs as well. He played 30 minutes and then he played 18 minutes, but if everybody's out today, they're going to have to play Alec Burks here. We know what he can do when given some increased run. Karis LeVert, if there's no Donovan Mitchell, is at 4K today. Obviously, it'll be pretty chalky if he ends up getting a minutes boost. He played 33 minutes against Boston in that game. He's got 20 fantasy points in 5 of the last 6. So, just in his general role, he's been solid. So, all that works up there. Small forward here. JT's at 10-6, 66 fantasy points, 51, 68 against Cleveland. he's doing his thing. Rebounds have been great. But, I mean, coming off almost 50 minutes last night on a back-to-back on the road, feels like we could have a down game here out of JT. Not really where I want to spend my money. I do like Butler at 89, though. Do like Butler at 89.
Yeah, I mean, just, again, it comes down to 3 of the last 5 games. He's taken 8 shots.
Wow.
You know?
He fills his stat sheet up.
Yeah, he fills his stat sheet up, but he's $9,000.
Yeah.
Like 3 games ago, he takes 8 shots. 16, 3, and 3. That's just not going to do it. Like, he needs...
He took 8 shots, but he had 20 free throws.
No. 3 games ago.
Oh, okay, there you go. Yeah,
2 games ago against Knicks, 15 shots, 20 free throws.
Yeah.
Like, that's what we need. We need that version of Butler.
Charlotte, he was 16 of 20 from the line.
Yeah, it's like, dude, it's like, I love the guy. I think he's a great player. It's just like there's sometimes in games where he just defers.
Sure.
And it just is what it is. Like, this could be a game where he dominates, and I'm okay getting there.
He's in my player pool. I'll say this. He's in my player pool.
Yeah, he's in my player pool.
Also in my player pool, guy we've been touting pretty heavily lately, Brandon Ingram, sure, against Golden State. Tough game for him there. Fouled out, as well, in 38 minutes still, but popped against Portland. We like that matchup for him. I have no problem, obviously, putting him in my lineups here. Price is obviously on the rise. $8,600, getting a little more expensive. But, I mean, we do like Brandon Ingram. Let's see here. Mid-tier guys. I mean, you can play Scotty Barnes, obviously. Buddy Hield. Michael Porter at 54.
He's been really good.
Yeah, he's been good. Good shooting the basketball. Missing some of his threes, too. I mean, 2 of 7 the other day. Could have had a ceiling game.
He had 40 fantasy points that game.
Yeah. Yep. Let's see. Harry B is 37 minutes. 37. He's been decent games. So up and down for Harrison Barnes. They have pretty decent defensive wings for the Pelicans, so I'm not sure if you're a big fan of Harrison Barnes at 5K, given his recent production has not been too bad.
Yeah, I mean, he's, he is what he is. He has a random blow up, and the rest of the games, he's going to get you 25, 26, 27 fantasy points. And
why did Keegan Murray play 20 minutes against Minnesota?
Because he sucked and Kevin Porter didn't.
Yeah, he was 43, 32,
Dude.
36, 33, 20.
Dude, it's a carousel, man. It's him, Monk, Murray, Monk, Porter. Whoever's playing good is on the floor. Whoever's not is off the floor. It's just guess who's going to play well, guess who's going to play poorly, and, you win a tournament.
Sure. Okay. Anybody else down here? Any 4K guys on your radar?
I mean, Nwora, again, 22 minutes. So that's 4 straight games of 21 plus minutes and 4 straight games of 21 plus fantasy points. So we can get there. I've been playing Najee Marshall quite a bit during this last stretch, 23, 27, 29 minutes. The fantasy production's been meh, but has good eligibility. Power forward's been a very weak position, small forward too. So, I've been just slotting him in at one of those positions as a cheap value.
You've been touting Thibault. He's been decent.
Yeah, Thibault.
Missing shots, but giving you defense and all that other stuff that we like about him. So
which we know. I mean, that's what he's not someone who's going to make shots often. Like, when he does make shots, he can, break a slate because he stinks offensively.
Yeah.
But I don't hate Thibault. Like, not my favorite because he's such a low floor offensive player, but he has been pretty good.
Who got the minutes at Tobia? Was it Maxey?
Yeah, it was Maxey.
No,
also,
Jalen McDaniels just won't play him?
No. Also, we didn't mention Levert at shooting guard, but if Donovan Mitchell...
I did.
Oh, okay.
Gotta listen
Great
to me.
job.
Gotta use your ears,
Yeah. That's what I've been telling you for the last 5 years.
Yeah. $4,000, I agree. He'll be a big guy. Again, he had 20 points in 5 of 6, just playing his usual minutes. So an increase likely to be a spot for him there. All right, power forward. Siakam's at 9K against Denver, but as you mentioned, it's difficult to pinpoint which guy's going to go off. It's been a few games since that's been Siakam, so paying 9K for under 40 fantasy points 3 straight games is a little much, but a good contrarian play if this game ends up popping off. Evan Mobley's going to be in a pretty decent spot here. Doubled against Boston, coming off 48 fantasy points against Detroit. We've seen some ceiling games out of him. Boston on the back-to-back. Again, on the road, it could be a little tough spot for them to get going here, especially if there ends up being no Donovan Mitchell as well. Could see a little boost there. Jeremy Grant, a little revenge gameplay.
Love this spot. Love this spot.
Went for 36 actual against Detroit in their first meeting this year in 28 minutes. Playing out of his mind right now. So
yeah, he's been really, and it's funny because he's not from a fantasy perspective he is, but he's shooting terribly. So imagine we get like good shooting night from Jeremy Grant. Like we could have. We're looking at 50 fantasy points. So
shooting under 35% in 3 of the last
dude, and still has 35 plus fantasy points in each of those games. Like this is a Jeremy Grant I feel like we haven't seen in a little while that he's contributing kind of across the board.
I like the free throw attempts, man. 7, 9, 13. I mean,
yeah, and everything. Rebounds, assists, steals, block. Like I'm hoping it's not an anomaly because I love the spot.
Playing like the guy that said he didn't want to be a backup anywhere. You know, didn't want to go to the Lakers, so he didn't want to be a backup. So
Yep.
So $7,100. I do like that play a lot. Bagley, as we've discussed, continues to play really, really well. Another double for him.
He's so good right now.
5,500 is too cheap. You gotta play him. The escalator's going up. I mean, that monster game came against Cleveland. Most teams do not play that well against the Cleveland front court. 20 and 13 with 3 blocks. Never been a talent issue with Marvin Bagley. It's been a health issue. So
and a foul issue. I'm ready for 2 quick ones I'm ready for Chalk Marvin Bagley to have 2 fouls in 3 minutes tonight. Just throwing that out there.
Al Horford broke the slate against Cleveland a couple nights ago. He was 4,800. He almost 10x'd last night.
Did it again. He did it again last night.
Again, no Robert Williams. Now, Horford's old, right? Like he's rarely been playing back-to-backs. I don't know if he's played a back-to-back this season. I'm scrolling.
I'm telling you, he's not playing.
I don't think he's played a back-to-back this year.
Dude, he's not playing.
But they don't have Robert Williams. Are they gonna?
I don't think that matters. I'm telling you, I don't think that matters. Just considering
they've lost 4 of their last 5 and are no longer.
I know, but they're the 2. Yeah, but like think about this: Golden State's resting guys fighting for a play-in spot.
I know. I mean,
Boston is
in
the 2 seed.
You're probably right, but if you sit Al Horford tonight, listen, he played double overtime, 46 minutes. It's definitely a sit spot for him.
They're starting Grant Williams.
It's gonna be it'll be Mike Muscala. Muscala will start at center.
Yes, Muscala at center. Oh yeah, they don't. I guess they don't technically need to start Grant, but Grant's gonna play 40 minutes.
Yeah, probably.
Right? I mean, he played 44 in the overtime game last night.
Yeah, but without Brock. He's the reason that quickly kept going off. Like they kept on switching, and like a guy could not defend anybody.
Well, I feel like that is a poor matchup.
The man that's trying to tout himself as the next Draymond Green here couldn't defend anybody last night. So
I feel like that might not be the best matchup for Grant Williams.
Probably not, but Draymond could probably guard a guard, right? Like if you're gonna tout yourself as the next defensive player of the year, I know. Got to step your game up a little bit here. I agree, though. I mean, but here's the thing, right? 44 minutes. I mean, 22 fantasy points, I guess is fine. I don't know. It's low floor.
It's a low floor. 3,400. If Horford sits, that's just more everything to go around for Grant Williams. So, like that, they potentially could be out without Brogdon.
I would like
Rob
Muscala
Williams,
a lot tonight if he starts.
Sure, I agree.
Did he even get any run last night? Let's see.
He played 12 minutes.
12 minutes. Because they're playing obviously Al Horford at center, but if he's
Horford's not playing. Horford's not. There's just no way that they're just like, yeah, we haven't played you in back-to-back all year. You're very old, but you know what? Get out there, Al. There's just no way. There's just no way.
You're probably right. Let's see here. Anybody else down here power forward? Sean Collins is 4K. Jesus.
Yeah, it's been.
Not even playing minutes, right? 16, 23.
Yeah, they're playing Sadiq. They're playing Sadiq over him, and Sadiq's been good.
How far he's fallen, man. He'll be great next year in a bad team, though. They'll give us doubles and all these things.
Yeah, I hope he gets to a new team, dude. He needs to change the scenery so badly.
Did you play Sadiq though?
No, not against Miami. I don't think we need to. I just play like Najee Marshall, who I mentioned, but like is power forward eligible.
So PJ Tucker is questionable tonight as well. Will that maybe Jalen McDaniels gets a bump here? I want to play Jalen McDaniels so bad.
I know. I mean, he played 20 minutes in that.
And he had 5 fouls. Maybe he would have played more.
We need to. So I think, let's see. So let's just speculate Tobias and Tucker sit. Harden, Maxey, Melton, Embiid, right? Those 4 starters for sure. It's probably McDaniels as the 5th starter because they don't start Niang.
Are they going to go Niang?
But Niang played 28 minutes in that Milwaukee game. But he had largely been playing.
But was that because McDaniels had 5 fouls?
We can popcorn machine this. We can find out via popcorn machine.
Because, if not, I'll play Niang at 34.
So McDaniels, let's see.
Who subbed in first?
So McDaniels played the final 12 minutes, the final 15 minutes of the game. He only played. There was no, he didn't sub out because of foul trouble because he didn't come off the floor the final 15 minutes.
When did he pick up his 5 fouls? When did he pick up his 5 fouls?
All in the fourth. He picked up 4 fouls in the fourth quarter.
Okay. Yeah. So is it Niang then?
They closed with Niang and McDaniels. Their closing lineup was Embiid, Harden, Maxey, McDaniels, Niang.
Is Harris that a good sign for McDaniels that he played the final 15 then?
He played Melton subbed out at 2:28 of the third for Jalen McDaniels and never checked back in the game. So, McDaniels checked in for Melton. That was the direct sub.
Well, someone's got to start.
But Toby. So here it is. Maybe this is an indication. Tobias Harris played the first shift of the game. 9 minutes. No. He played a second shift and got hurt. His first shift, he was subbed out by Jalen McDaniels.
Okay.
So maybe that is your correlation. Maybe Jalen McDaniels does start. If Jalen McDaniels start, definitely have
So who subbed in for Toby when he got hurt? Niang?
Toby got hurt. Niang and Melton both checked in for Tucker and McDaniels.
Okay.
And McDaniels only played 5 first half minutes. He played 15 in the second half. So
I guess we'll have to see who starts.
Yeah, we'll have to see the starting lineup. McDaniels, it looks like he was the direct sub for Harris at first and then wasn't the second sub. So who knows what. We just have to see. If McDaniels is starting, I'm interested. If he's not, probably can't go there.
Sure. All right, center spot here. Jokic is 11-8 against Toronto. Obviously, this is a spot that we're going to be interested in. 3 straight triple doubles. So I'm not going to sit there and argue.
But dude, he's stat padding those triple doubles. Are you kidding me?
You know what? That's fine. He should. It's DFS. JoJo at 11-3 against the Pacers here. Obviously, if you want to pivot down, you can. Just as likely guy at 10 assists himself against Milwaukee. So
and 6 rebounds. Yeah. Talk about an anomaly.
Yep. I'm with you there. Sabonis against the Pelicans. If there's no Valanciunas, I kind of have some interest here. This guy could triple double for you.
Yeah,
I know you hate the 10K price tag on this guy, but
no, it's fine. This is a great game. This is the best game on the board, and it's Valanciunas. It's Valanciunas, Hernangomez, or Jackson Hayes on the other side, or they're going small, which they have a lot. So any scenario, Sabonis has a great matchup.
Yep. I don't know which version of Bam shows up at 82, so that one's a little tough for me. Jared Allen, if he's up against Muscala tonight or Cornette, fine, sign me up. Did not play well against Boston. 39 minutes, just 2 of 5 shooting, 5-7. Got lucked out by the blocks and steals there, but only 25 fantasy points. If there's no Mitchell, if Horford sits, I could potentially get in on some Jared Allen here at 7K. I think that's probably fine. Anybody else in this mid range for you?
Yeah, Pirtle for tournaments.
Did you play Pirtle against Jokic?
Tournaments only. It's definitely foul trouble. Capella is going to play 25 minutes, but he's been awesome. So, if you want to take a shot on him, tough spot, but, he doesn't need to score. 10 points, 15 rebounds is in the bag.
Yeah.
I don't think I would play Wiseman at 52 if he plays, especially dealing with a knee. That's a little sketchy for me.
Mm-hmm.
If Valanciunas doesn't play, they're just not playing Hernangomez.
They're not playing him or Hayes. They're just splitting.
Yeah, dude, they're actually just playing small. They're playing. How many minutes did they split last night? They split 35.
I think. Yeah.
So they played 35 minutes. So Najee Marshall played 13 minutes of center, right? That's crazy. Which I guess could work because the Kings could use Trey Lyles as their backup center, and that's like benefits the Pelicans. Eubanks and Trendon Watford split time. Watford's been pretty good. If you want to play him as like a dart, look, dude, Detroit is very bad in the front court. Like Eubanks and Watford, one of those guys could be a really interesting value. I don't hate Eubanks, to be honest here. There's been games where he's gotten in foul trouble and it's limited, and that's where Watford has come in. I don't think there's like a massive ceiling per se, but it wouldn't surprise me to see Eubanks get like 30 fantasy points if he were to stay out of foul trouble. John.
I know, you're 7. I saw.
Probable,
yeah. But
you're 7 season. No, yeah. I know. I wish that was the case. And that's probably it.
He was so good last year when he got those minutes.
So good. He was so good.
Embiid's gonna get ruled out this afternoon, and we're gonna sit there and be like, Cody Zeller or you're at 7. Who's gonna get the minutes? You know.
And Bam. Yeah. Not Embiid.
Yeah. Sorry, Bam's gonna get ruled out. We'll have to pick one.
not Embiid.
All right, build our lineups here. Are we just plugging Jokic in here?
I'm not totally sold. Jokic is a better play than Embiid, but I like the spot for Embiid better.
Okay.
I think the spot for Embiid is way better than Jokic. Just think it's a faster pace game, better total, way worse defense in Indiana. Obviously, Jokic isn't dealing with Harden.
Right.
But I like Embiid better. If you want to play Jokic, that's fine. Jokic is obviously can triple-double against any singular person. I also don't know, like, I guess spending up is fine.
Sure.
I was gonna say I don't know if like we need to spend up, but yeah, we could. Let's play Embiid at center.
Okay. All right, $5,500. We had some value, obviously, that we liked in Detroit. Here today, we can go Diallo probably and Bagley.
Yeah, probably Diallo and Bagley. I was gonna go Jeremy Grant too on the flip side of that game.
Yep, that's fine. Diallo, Bagley, Grant. All right, $5,300 for point guard, shooting guard, small forward, and utility.
Who
was it? Do we have some Cam Reddish? Do you want to just double stack that game there?
Yeah, I do really think we should get some. I think we go Reddish and Trey Murphy.
Okay.
Because New Orleans is too good of a spot to not have exposure there.
You want to go McCollum?
Can you see what it looks like with McCollum and Murphy? Because Murphy has the goated eligibility.
Yeah, so with McCollum, Murphy, Reddish, Bagley, Embiid, Diallo, Grant, we have a $4,400 utility.
4,400 util. I feel like that's
Burks
plausible.
Is 41. Eubanks is 41. LeVert at 4K. He's getting minutes anyways, right? Could go,
yeah, I mean,
if you think that obviously Boston sits Horford, there's Noora at 38. There's going to be obviously guys like Grant Williams or Muscala available down here at the util spot.
Yeah.
I'm
trying to maybe go over Murphy, maybe go Najee Marshall. That would open up a little more salary.
I kind of like Murphy with the minutes though.
Yeah, so do I. I mean, Marshall's minutes have been pretty secure as well, but Murphy's probably going to start with Richardson out.
Yeah. Want to just go LeVert? Sit LeVert for now, and we can pivot where we need to.
Yeah,
Jordan Noora, as we talked a lot about, getting a good run.
They're all fine, right? It's all like.
Oh yeah, I mean it's a $4,400 utility play.
Yeah, yeah, they're all fine. Whichever one. I could. LeVert is. I don't know if Mitchell sits because he's. I don't feel great about LeVert without Mitchell, with Mitchell in.
Sure.
I know he played the 33 minutes against Boston, but like He only played 22 in a blowout. He didn't even get a blowout run last time. I played LeVert the other day. Like, oh, they're gonna blow Detroit
But you got to
out.
think about the way Boston's rotations play too. Like they play small.
Small, yeah, they play small.
KCP's been getting 30 minutes a night. He's 4K. Just all whether or not he hits his threes.
KCP, it's like the same thing with Herb Jones. He's playing a bunch of minutes too in this New Orleans rotation, but does he do anything? I don't know. Thibault, 42. That's a pretty good spot.
And give us 3 Portland guys here.
It's Detroit. It is a third night of. Noira's fine. Eubanks is fine. 3 Portland guys again.
It's a smaller slate, so obviously our normal go-to guys down here are not available, and we're gonna get injury news, right? That's gonna make this position a bit. They'll give us a little bit more clarity, right? Like if Burks starts, we're gonna play Burks at $4,100, right? Like
just play Burks. Okay. Just plug Burks, and then
all right. Well, that gives us Bagley, Diallo. We're fine stacking Portland, Detroit. We're not against that. So, all right, we'll go there for now. We can obviously make some pivots if we need to. We have $300 left over. McCollum, Murphy, Reddish, Bagley, Embiid, Diallo, Grant, and Burks is the lineup here. If you have any questions, get us in the Discord. James and I will be around today. Good luck. Catch you guys on Tuesday.